Hi everyone, welcome back to Nails by Sora. I hope you are doing well. My nails match my dust collector. Unintentional, but I digress. If you watched my last video, you will know that this is not the manicure we left off with. If you haven't watched it, I will place it up in the cards right here. But my nails have changed because one of the nail techs that just started at the salon needed to practice her dip manicure process, so I let her work on my hands. She did a really good job, especially for her first time. I believe it was her first time doing dip manicure, but it somewhat changed the shape of some of my nails. And I know it's going to drive me crazy. This one's a little bit bloated, and the reason why I changed the shape is because we didn't remove all the product from my last manicure. She just buffed off the surface, evened it out a little bit, and then dipped on top of it. So I always do my manicures on Mondays. It is Friday right now, and I know I'm not going to want to wait until Monday to redo it. So I'm just going to kind of do an abbreviated manicure. And I think I need to adjust the color on this video. I think it's too bright. Hold on one moment. I think that's better. But where did I leave off? What was I saying? You can see it's a little bit bloated at the top. My nails are almond shaped. They're supposed to look more like this, but they're a little bit bulbous at the top on some of my fingers. So that's has nothing to do with the job that she did. That is just what happens when you put product on top of product on top of product. So I figured this would give me an opportunity to play with some acrylic because I don't want to do a full removal. I'm not going to do a full removal. I'm going to take down as much of the bulk as possible, and then I'm going to do acrylic on top of it with some similar colors. So I've got VBP 220 here. They're V Beauty Pure products, and then I've got 136. And they are, this beautiful lilac is 220. And then this, which one is it? 136 is this one with the iridescent mylar flakes, which I will layer on top. But then I also want to do some 3D floral acrylic art. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick debulking, and then we're going to do acrylic on top of it, and then I'm going to go into the 3D art. So stay tuned, and I will be right back. And we're back. All right, so this is where we're at right now. I debulked as much as I was in the mood to do. I took down the sides and made them more narrow. I narrowed out the tips, so now they are all pretty much where I want them to be. One word of advice I would give for when you're preparing your nails is to do all your shaping before you put on any product. And you want to go a little bit more accentuated on your shape before you go and put on product. And what I mean is go a little bit more narrow than the end result that you're looking for. And the reason for that is that your product, whatever product you put on, least of all gel polish, but if you're doing dipping, if you're doing acrylic, that product is going to bulk up your nail. You're going to be doing 2 to 3 layers of all the products that you're putting on, and it's just going to make your nails wider, and you're going to lose the shape that you're looking for. And it's going to be a pain in the butt after you put on all the product to get that shape back. So do the bulk of your shaping before you add any product. That way your finish filing is minimal. So that being said, I've gone and I've cleansed my nails with alcohol. I'm going to grab my base bond, which I use Young Nails, and then I'm just going to start in on the acrylic process. So my intent for this is not to add too much product. I don't want to bulk up the nail again. So I'm basically going to be doing a wash of color over the surface, and then I'm going to be going in with the 3D design. So I'm going to put a graphic up here with what the design is going to look like. I have to find the name of the artist that did it. I don't think I'm going to do it over all of my nails. It would be a bit too much and take too much time that I don't want to spend. So likely I'm just going to do it on my ring finger and then do a few minor accents on one or two other nails, maybe my thumb and either my pointer finger or my middle finger. But I'm just going to prep my left hand for now. I've got my monomer ready. I've got my brush, which I need to wet quite a bit. It's been a while since I've used the brush. It's looking a little natty. So I'm just going to prime the brush by really spinning it around in the monomer and getting it fully saturated, wiping it off. The only problem I have with these dappen dishes are they're kind of shallow and I can't balance the brush in it. It just pops back out. So I have a jar of alcohol at the back, so I'm just going to lean it up against that so it doesn't fall out. And then I'm going to start with my lavender color. So make sure that when you're using colored acrylics, as you would do with dip powder, you want to make sure that you stir it well, because it is a mixture of different what's the word, polymerization powders and your color, and you want to make sure that the color is mixed as well as possible. I'm actually going to put the lid back on and shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And we're gonna get right on into it. Oh, I need a towel. Okay, so you want to make sure you have really nice, thick, lint-free towels, and that's for dabbing your monomer. If you have something that's really thin, your monomer is going to settle on the top, and then you're going to wind up wiping your brush in old monomer and acrylic, and it's going to gunk up your brush really quickly. So to do a wash, these are dinner napkins, by the way, that I got on Amazon. I will link them down below. But to do a wash, I'm just dabbing off the slightest amount of monomer. I'm picking up a somewhat wet bead, and I'm just going to place it at the cuticle. Could have been more wet than that. I'm just going to wash it down the nail. Note to self, make it more wet. Well, I did not start off this nail well at all. I do not know why there are two different shades here. This is going to bug me. All right, I'm going to pour the acrylic into a cupcake liner and give it a really good stir. I'm going to move on to my pointer finger and I will come back to my thumb.
Understand the things that we want, but you keep coming back. I want love you don't know, so why are you here?
Okay, I don't like the way this acrylic is playing, so I'm going to switch tacks. I'm going to pick a dip color and I'm just going to dip over the rest of my nails. I'm going to come back to this and redo it. And then I will continue on and do 3D acrylic with probably white or slick pour from Young Nails. I just don't like how patchy it is. It's probably because I'm, doing layers upon layers over layers. But I don't like the way it's turning out and I don't want to continue fighting with it. So we're going to reset and I will come back with my nails ready to do the 3D acrylic. All right, so this is what we have right now. It is the color Burst Class from Sparkle & Co. As with most of my Sparkle & Co dips, unfortunately they were from limited releases from the subscription packages, so they are not available for purchase on the website. But just take a look at this. I mean, it's spectacular. It's a beautiful lavender with like a pinky glitter, and it just goes on so smoothly. But because I do have a lot of bare spaces from filing, I do need to cover that up and do a second coat. So this is a base coat that I've been using for my dipping. It does have some glitter in it, so I'm not so worried about dragging it back into the bottle. But I'm just going to do a thin coat of dip, or gel base rather, all over the nail. And I'm doing the pour over method so that I don't move the gel on my nail. If I dip into it, because gel doesn't air dry, it's going to get all scrunched up and wrinkly and gonna have to do a lot of finish filing, which I don't want to do. So I'm just going to pour over into a cupcake liner, like so. I'm going to follow with the rest of my nails, and then that will complete the dip portion of this video, and we'll go into finally the 3D acrylic. All right, so I'm going to give this a 60-second cure, and we're going to continue with the acrylic. All right, so we're going to go ahead and brush off the excess. Make sure you get underneath your nails too. And we are ready to go. Getting our monomer again, moving our gel products aside. I've got a 3D acrylic brush. This is a 2-inch. I also have, are these both the same? This is a 4-inch, so a 2-inch and a 4-inch. I'm going to start off with the 2-inch. I'm going to fully saturate it and let it sit. I will be using white instead of the Slick Pour, which has a fine glitter in it. Slick Pour is from Young Nails and can be used as a dip powder or an acrylic, but I think I want to use the white. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice before I lay it on my nail, because that would be the smart thing to do. So I'm going to wipe off my brush somewhat, and I'm going to pick up a smallish bead. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to lay it down, let it set up a bit, and then pull out the indent of the flower. I think that's pretty good. All right, shall we go for it? Let's go for it. Oops. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. Gently pressing the point of the brush down into it to create that indentation, and then just going on either side with the wet brush to further shape it. The nails that I am referencing are quite long, so I'm not going to be able to do the design exactly as it is. And my screen just went dark. But I'm going to do an abbreviated version of it. You can also use dotting tools. You can basically use whatever tool you want, so long as the acrylic's not already set. So I put the two down at the same time because they weren't next to each other, and I wasn't worried about them bleeding into one another. But this one is pretty close to the one that I want to place over here, so I'm not going to place them down together. And actually, it may be somewhat overlapping because I didn't space them out properly, unfortunately. But that's okay because flowers do overlap. Alright, I'm going to let that dry. I am going to end up putting in some caviar beads and some rhinestones, but that's going to be it for the acrylic on this nail. I'm thinking about doing a flower on this nail as well, so let's go into that.
Was it real? There's only one thing left to do. My heart is breaking on you, so I'll say goodbye. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me back. Just say I'll say goodbye. Tired of crying, don't call me back. Just say goodbye. There's only one thing. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me back. Just say I'll say goodbye. Yeah, I'll say goodbye.
All right, so I'm going to use the rose gold gems from Lizette Cruz Nails. And I want to grab my gem glue. So I'm going to be using the little stopper on the end to pipe it where I want it. And I think I'm going to be using mostly the smaller rhinestones because I like them when they're a little bit more delicate. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going to use my gem picker upper. I'm just going to put it right in the center there. And I'm going to flash cure that. I also have these rose gold caviar beads. Unfortunately, they're not quite the same tone as the gems. These are a little bit closer, but they're not, they're closer to pixie crystals. So we'll see how they look. I mean, once they're down, so. Alright, so the battery died as I was putting on the crystals, but that's okay. I got them affixed where I wanted them. I'm going to put a few more around the center stone, just to, it looks a little bit naked. So I'm going to squeeze some glue around here. And then I need to figure out how I want to finish off the nail because I do want to top coat it, but I don't want to bloat the flowers. So we're going to have to figure that out. All right, for my thumb, I'm going to go ahead and fill the center area with glue. And then I'm just going to drop a lot of the pixie crystal mix in the center to kind of look like the center iris of a flower. I'm going to wet it, my water marbling tool with a little bit of the glue so that I can pick up a whole bunch and just drop it in there. All right, to finish off this manicure, I'm going to start with a base coat. I'm going to finish off my plain nails first. And then I will be doing a top coat as well. For the accented nails, I'm going to place the base coat around the acrylic design. As best as possible. I'm just going to brush it roughly over the acrylic as well. Because I do want it shiny. You also want to embed all of these crystals as best as possible. So I'm going to take my baby blender and go into all those nooks and crannies. And then I'm going to cure it quickly so that it doesn't have a chance to flood in between the in all of the little creases.
Where my heart is at, don't want you to know. My love is lost. Well, there's only one thing left to do. My heart is breaking, wanting you, so I'll say goodbye. Let's put the sun back in the sky.
All right, so we're finished with this unanticipated manicure. I love the way it turned out. I haven't done 3D acrylic on myself before. I've done it on nail stands, but not on myself. It always does amaze me how I end up doing my right hand better than my left. I am a righty, so it would make sense that my left hand will come out better, but my right hand always seems to be a little bit more delicate, a little bit more reserved, and that's maybe because I'm paying more attention or being more careful, have to go slowly because I am using my non-dominant hand. But I'm going to finish off this manicure as usual with some hand cream and some cuticle oil, and I want to thank you for joining me in this video. I hope you are all doing well whatever day you are watching this, and I'm not exactly sure where this channel is going to take me in the future. I do want to work a lot more with acrylic, so if that's something that you would like to see, please let me know in the comment section down below. I will endeavor to have to be a little bit more coherent and have my videos be a little bit more put together. But as I said, this video was unanticipated, and I wasn't in the mood for doing a full removal and reapplication of product. So it was a little bit haphazard, as these videos sometimes end up being. I do like to play around and experiment, so sometimes I don't have a plan, and I hope that you are okay with that. And sometimes problems just arise. I mean, I'm not new to nail art. Excuse me while I clean up my cuticles. I had some, well, my sidewalls. I had some spillage. But I haven't used acrylic a whole lot, and even with products that I am familiar with, sometimes things just don't work out the way you want. So that being said, thank you once again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already subscribed. If you are subscribed, thank you, and thank you for coming back. As I said, I'm going to finish off now with some cuticle oil and I will see you all hopefully in the next video. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see from this channel. All the products that I used will be listed in the description box below, and I will see you soon.